on challenges and opportunities of underground coal gasification in India, UCG 2017, and emerging mining technologies and low carbon footprint with waste management, EMT 2017, in which we have renowned academicians, researchers, and professionals from India and abroad. The workshop UCG 2017 has been planned in association with international experts. Dr. Blinderman is here from Ergo Exergy. Faculty members from academia including IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Bombay, IIT Madras, and scientists from CIMFR Dhanbad, CMRI Durgapur. A wide range of papers covering several issues surrounding underground coal gasification will be presented by domain experts. Experts in UCG will deliver talks over the 2 days on energy scenario in India vis-a-vis regulatory and policy issues, updates of UCG technology, geological controls in UCG, R&D perspective of UCG, global development of commercial underground coal gasification, application of the UCG technology in international CTX projects. These two talks will be delivered by Dr. Blinderman, who has traveled all the way from Montreal, Canada to make us wise on this subject, and experiences of UCG in Cambay Basin, Gujarat by Sri P.K. Jain from Institute of Reservoir Studies, ONGC. Regarding the EMT 2017 workshop, this workshop aims at providing one-to-one interaction and deliberation among Indian and overseas field engineers and scientists. This workshop would help in promoting research on utilization of industrial waste with just a moment please. Industrial waste with low carbon footprint, which is growing demand of mining and allied industries. Representatives from mining industry, R&D organizations, manufacturing industries, and regulatory authorities are meeting together for 2 days to understand and solve the problems faced by the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, light is a symbol of brightness, prosperity, as sunlight expels darkness of might. Similarly, blessings bring in our prosperity and happiness. To make this day a blessed one, invoke Goddess of Knowledge Saraswati by kindling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. For seeking the choicest blessings for the same, I invite our admirable director, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Singh, to accompany our highly regarded chief guest, Professor B.B. Dhar, and guest of honor, Dr. B.K. Murthy, Dr. Michael S. Blinderman, and Professor Colin D. Hills to kindly kindle the lamp. Professor Garg. I now welcome to the dais Professor Bharat Bhushan Dhar, Dr. B.K. Murthy, Dr. Michael S. Blinderman, Dr. Colin D. Hills, and I request our director, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Singh, to accompany them. Dr. Rajsekhar Singh, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. S.K. Cholia, who has worked tirelessly to make this event successful, I request him to please present a flower bouquet to our chief guest, to Professor B.B. Dhar.
So before that, I want to tell that Dr. Murthy is not coming. In place of Baveja is there from MeitY.
Okay.
Please invite him.
Dr. Murthy could not make it today, and in his place, Dr. B.M. Baveja, he will represent the Ministry of Information and Technology. Dr. Baveja. May I now request that a flower bouquet be presented to Dr. B.M. Baveja. To Dr. Blinderman. To Professor Colin D. Hills. And to our beloved director, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Singh. Thank you, Dr. Cholia. May I now request Dr. Pradeep Kumar Singh, Director, Central Institute of Mining and Fuel Research, to kindly welcome the distinguished guests on the dais and off the dais. Sir, please.
Namaskar, good morning. We are grateful by the gracious presence of dignitaries sitting on the dais, luminaries, policy makers, researchers, academicians sitting in front of me. The chief guest of today's function is always source of inspiration for all of us. I welcome our Guru, Professor B.B. Dhar, to this occasion. Professor Colin Hills, Dr. Blinderman, Dr. Baveja, Dr. Ajay Singh, Rajsekhar, and distinguished guests. I welcome you all in this hall of Vigyan Bhawan. I extend a most cordial welcome to our colleagues from abroad in the land of most ancient civilization, in the capital city of largest democracy of the world. My dear guest, we will try to keep you in the spirit of Atithi Devo Bhava. I am also delighted to see a galaxy of eminent persons from institutions, research organizations, industries, law enforcing authorities, and others. I greet them all at this great moment. Their presence in a big number will go a long way in making both the workshops memorable. Just to inform you, sirs, we are having these workshops for 2 days. One is challenges and opportunity of underground coal gasification in India. Second one is emerging mining technologies and low carbon footprints with waste management. So we are here for this workshop for 2 days. And from 15th to 17th, we have a conference, international conference, where more than 650 delegates have already registered next gen technology for mining and fuel industries. So most of them will be there. So that time I will also welcome you all. By the gracious and generous support provided by my sponsors, I see a few of them. I also welcome you all. My dear friends, emerging technologies in mining and allied industry sectors have competitive advantage to operate even more systematically and safely in a cost-effective manner while reducing environmental impact. Mining companies operate in complex geographic, having challenges in respect of capital investment, human resources, community engagement, regulatory and compliance requirement. CSIR-CIMFR is working since its inception for the safety and productivity of the mines while protecting the environment. The footprints of CIMFR can be felt not only in this great country, but we have gone abroad. So my researchers and scientists are contributing to their best ability for the benefit of mineral sector. This is an opportunity where representatives from mining industry, R&D organizations, manufacturing industries, and regulatory authorities are meeting to interact, understand, and solve the problems faced by the mining and allied industry by cutting-edge research and innovative technologies. We have initiated in 2015 with University of Greenwich, and we started a center. We are working with them. We have planned to work with Professor Dr. Blinderman also. CSIR-CIMFR has a dedicated setup in our institute headed by Dr. Rajsekhar, which is collaborating with University of Greenwich. Similar initiatives have been taken so that in underground coal gasification, we will have more industry and institutional partners. My dear friends, Indo-UK Environmental Center is running successfully, and we are hopeful that our more industry partners and stakeholders will join hands to hand, and we will do something good for the benefit of society in a large and developing country in particular. My colleagues have worked untiring. It is as a director of the institute, I must appreciate the hard work of my colleagues. For the success of the workshop, I am making our guests as comfortable as possible. I have seen some of my foreigners were here yesterday, and they were very happy by the hospitality of our colleagues. They deserve appreciation, sir. At the last, I wish this 2 days workshop successful and have a wonderful stay in here. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. India and United Kingdom entered into a new era of scientific collaboration at the University of Greenwich with opening of the Indo-UK Centre for Environment Research and Innovation on 24th October 2016, if I am correct. The partnership between CSIR Central Institute of Mining and Fuel Research and University of Greenwich aims primarily at development of low carbon solutions to India's environmental problems. The setup will be launched now in India to develop joint research programs with direct links between the two institutions. Now, I have the higher honor of inviting our director, Dr. Pradeep Singh, and Professor Colin Hills, Professor of Environment and Material Engineering at University of Greenwich, to launch the Indo-UK Centre in India. Sir, please. Thank you, sir. It is my great honor now to request Professor Colin Hills, Professor of Environment and Material Engineering at University of Greenwich, United Kingdom, to please deliver his lecture. Professor Collins, please.
Morning, everybody. It's an absolute pleasure to be invited here to talk to you today and to thank you for the very warm welcome that I and my colleagues have received on arrival and again this morning. The Indo-UK Centre for Environment Research and Innovation is a new initiative which I think will build on our collaborative past, and what I'd like to do in the next few minutes is to give you some background to how the centre was formed and what are the driving forces for us going forward. It's without doubt that India is a beautiful country. This photograph I took in Udaipur, where we first met in 2015, it is not only a beautiful country, but it's a country of contrasts. You see genetic engineering being advertised at the side of the road, showing that the country is moving forward well into the 21st century. And amazing manufacturing facilities that are producing voluminous materials, in this case, zinc metal. But you also find this juxtaposition with poverty, and it's for the greater benefit that we have formed this collaboration and trying to move forward with research that will make a difference to everybody. So to give you some sense of the background for the centre then, in 2015 we received funding from the Royal Society in London and the Department of Science and Technology in India for a sponsored seminar. And it brought what we now call the centre team, Team UCG, to India in collaboration with the CIFR and an opportunity to discuss issues of mutual interest. The UK participants were Greenwich, we led this particular initiative, Sheffield, Cardiff and Birmingham, and there are representatives of all of these universities with us today as part of our delegation. We held a 2-day seminar. We looked at where the broad problems were in your country and what we might do to help you address some of these problems. We also brought with us some simple experiments and we did some technology demonstrations. This picture here shows you the banner that we had on display at our meeting room in Udaipur, and there you see a picture of everybody at work discussing some of the key interests and areas that we might collaborate on. And then the group photograph taken outside of the most beautiful gardens overlooking one of those amazing lakes in the particular city. But I have to say we had an awful lot of fun during this trip as well. And there you see some of the members of the Indian delegation there enjoying themselves immensely at one of the industrial visits that we took part in. So we visited a cement works, a huge cement plant with 3 operational kilns, if I remember correctly, producing millions of tons of cement a year. We held discussions in boardrooms. We looked at some of the environmental issues associated with cement production and how waste may be managed. We did some simple bottle experiments, which will be on show again later on, where we can show you CO2 reacting with materials under, in this case, slightly less controlled conditions that you might wish to do industrially. So during this meeting, it became obvious to us that there are low carbon solutions to mitigate the various environmental problems that arise when you are developing rapidly, as India is. And there are a number of opportunities in India for us as a team to help you develop your industrial capacity with the minimum of environmental impact. So the outcome of the seminar visit was a memorandum of understanding between the university and CIMFR, to form a joint Indo-UK centre and to use this as the vehicle to develop collaborative research and academic exchange. And as was mentioned a few minutes ago, the centre was launched in 2016 on October the 24th. Now it just so happens that 2016 was also a year of interaction between the UK and India, the year of education, research and innovation. And that's really important because it's a statement that was made by both governments that we should work together for our mutual benefit. And I think you'll agree that the launch of the centre is very timely in this respect. So the centre was born, and this is the formal launch in, I beg your pardon, the centre was born and the formal launch took place in October last year. We had video links to Dhanbad, which worked to a lesser or greater degree. So we're really lucky to be able to have another attempt at launching here in what is actually the home of this particular initiative. So we could talk about the centre as being new. We believe it could be transformational. It meets the needs as described by our two governments, and we think it can provide the foundation for capacity building between our two countries. So the team then, as mentioned, it's the University of Sheffield and Birmingham and Cardiff. Our UK sponsor is Carbonate, which is an SME and spin-out from the University of Greenwich, and the CO2 Chemistry KTN, also represented here by Professor Peter Styring. We have a huge amount of support in India, and these are some of the organisations that will be working with CSIR-CIMFR to take us and our research initiatives forward. We've already had discussions with Indian industry. We've spoken to Cairn, Hindustan Zinc, Tata Power, and others. So we're starting on a high, and we have what we believe is momentum. So our objectives then are quite straightforward, and that is to develop and apply low-carbon solutions to key environmental issues, to foster this joint collaboration and develop our research capability, and the exchange of staff and students. We see that as a very important part of our work. But it's critical that we engage with industrial problem holders. And the work of our academic endeavour also needs to be recorded in peer-reviewed journals, in other publications and workshops. And we have the capability and the willingness to take what we're doing through proof of concept studies, to field experiments, to full commercial trials. We have a track record, a demonstrable track record of doing that in the UK. These are some of the issues that we are thinking of addressing, and we have submitted research applications, grant applications to pursue. One is are the mine fires in the Jari coalfield and the environmental impact of fires that have been lasting 100 years and covering hundreds of square kilometres of ground. The image you see on the bottom right there is a land raise containing industrial process waste. We consider these as resources. We consider these as opportunities to turn these wastes into valuable materials. Despite our young age, the centre has already been very active. We have 4 research proposals submitted. We have 2 publications, a book and a peer-reviewed journal paper, and the University of Greenwich is sponsoring 1 PhD student and 1 MPhil student already, and they have just recently come in post. So to summarise then, we believe that our centre is a joint initiative that directly arises from Royal Society DST funding, and it has considerable expertise at its disposal, and this is a resource that should not be wasted. We will focus on key environmental issues in India. We will use a low-carbon approach. We will foster academic exchange, industrial participation, and publish and inform. And I think very importantly, we build upon the 2016 Indo-UK Year of Education, Research and Innovation. And with this in mind, I very much look forward to the next 2 days of our workshop, and I hope that we can build the pathway that takes us forward and starts the process of allowing us to help you address some of the key environmental issues that are emerging in your country. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much and wish you a very successful workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Hills. Ladies and gentlemen, we have among us Dr. Blinderman, who has more than 30 years of experience in underground coal gasification, not only in one country, starting from Australia to now Mojuba in South Africa. So he has footprints throughout the globe, and fortunately we are having presently Dr. Blinderman among us. We are grateful to you, sir, for making it possible to have you in this workshop. I request Dr. Blinderman to give his address before this gathering. Dr. Blinderman, please.
I have no presentation for this. No, I didn't know that here. So no pictures, just me. I first time came to India to participate in an underground coal gasification workshop in 1986. So it's more than 30 years ago, right? I'm afraid there is very little to show for all these 30 years, although the efforts to develop a underground coal gasification project in India were more or less continuous, and they included every large industrial group in India, Reliance, Tata, Jindal, I mean, you know, everybody, and the government of India, GAIL, and ONGC and Coal India, and unfortunately we haven't been successful so far. There are reasons for this, and the urgent need to change the situation was recognized by Mr. Modi 2 years ago, and now there are new opportunities for underground coal gasification in the new Indian environment, and the work is spearheaded by government organizations, Coal India and others. I represent the company that was engaged in underground coal gasification for a very long time, and we are happy to be part of this effort, and this workshop is just one of indications that the interest in underground coal gasification in the country is growing. I'm very hopeful that this 30 years pattern will be broken very soon, and one or two projects which are being discussed in India now, they will actually be started. Most of people in this audience, I understand, are technical people. Science and research and development is your field. In this regard, it's important to mention that underground coal gasification is very demanding in terms of research and development support. It will require very significant resources in testing coal, conducting site characterization, in supporting operations themselves, in testing the outcomes of gasification, the products and byproducts of gasification, in terms of protecting the environment, there's a very broad field of research that is required to make these planned UCG projects in India successful. In the same time, India has a great scientific community, and but doesn't have any experience or exposure to underground coal gasification. And we are happy to assist and collaborate with Indian research institutions in setting up the research and development programs that are necessary for underground coal gasification. In the course of this workshop and the meetings that will take place in the next week, we hope to lay base for this work and to start discussing specific research projects that can be started soon. I have a couple of presentations during this workshop today and tomorrow, and the main issues that I would like to discuss will be treated there. At this moment, I'd like to express my gratitude for inviting me here, to the organizers, and I'm looking forward to a great and fruitful workshop for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Blinderman. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Dr. Vigyan Baveja with us, who has worked as Senior Director and Group Coordinator in the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. He has more than 35 years of work experience, and out of this, he has been working in the government for last 30 years. Dr. Baveja has played crucial role in funding several projects in favor of our institute, Central Institute of Mining and Fuel Research, including one on feasibility study of underground coal gasification in northeastern states, for which we are grateful to you, sir. May I now request Dr. Vigyan Baveja to kindly give his address. Dr. Baveja, please.
Thank you, Sahil. I am indeed very grateful to CSIR-CIMFR, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Singh, Director, and his team for having invited me today for this two-day workshop on emerging mining technologies. As you all may be aware that the Honorable Prime Minister's flagship program, Digital India, which is being piloted by the Ministry of Electronics and IT, it aims to develop holistic capabilities across infrastructure, manufacturing, which relates to made and design for and in India, skills and delivery platform, and a self-reliant knowledge economy. The Digital India is transformational in nature and would ensure that the benefits of ICT are made available to all citizens of the country. Further, under the national policy on electronics of the ministry, several initiatives have been taken to promote R&D and IP development in electronic products and industry. And mainly the electronic system design and manufacturing, what we hear, the ESDM sector, with active participation from the industry. The electronic manufacturing is on top of the government's agenda and is crucial, which drives the economic growth and revenue for the country and increases the GDP in turn. The ministry has been funding, as already said by Ajay Kumarji, several R&D technology projects since 2011 as I was heading the group on R&D in the ministry, to CIMFR, Dhanbad, NEIST, Jorat, IIT Kharagpur, IMMT at Bhubaneswar and IIT Mumbai. Several of these organizations have participated in the projects. The purpose of funding these projects were to evaluate the suitability of currently available and potential mining technologies for integration into a mining system that would have superior safety and efficiency, especially using the IT technologies. The areas of concern were attempted and they were addressed by innovative combination of appropriate technologies by the scientists at CMRI earlier and now CIMFR. It would be desirable that these systems which have been developed at the CSIR labs, including CMRI, that these are promoted and deployed by the coal mines for the benefit of the mining industry. I would urge upon the Ministry of Coal representatives who are here that they should help in propagating the use of indigenous technologies for bringing the Make in India concept towards Coal India, its subsidiaries and other coal companies. They can deploy these technologies. Today's 2 days workshop will cover all the emerging technologies, including the projects that we have funded from the department, and these I would just outline in the next couple of minutes. The first is the feasibility assessment for model for underground coal gasification in the northeast region. This is being done by CMFR, Dhanbad, NIST, Jorat and IIT Kharagpur with an outlay of about 2.2 crores. The project envisages development of gas monitoring and power cutoff system for existing underground coal mines to avoid explosions, development of database related to coal deposits of northeast region and web-enabled information system. The prototype is being developed for commercialization. Field trials have already been done at the Northeast Coalfields, Assam. The second project funded by the department ministry was tracking system for controlling illegal mining and coal, which was mentioned earlier. This was at a cost of 3 crores and it is up to March 2017 and the workshop is being funded from this project. Here the development of mine transport surveillance system using RFID tags, GPS and PLC in authorized routes was used. The GPS based vehicle tracking system was developed, development of vehicle detection system in unauthorized circuits, development of application software for controlling and monitoring the surveillance system. And of course the developed technologies have been tried out at TERAP, OpenCast, NEC, Coal India, where they have appreciated the system's usefulness for improved safety and productivity and controlling the unauthorized coal transportation from mines. A book was also written by the scientists entitled Wireless Communication in Underground Mines, RFID based sensor networking, published by Springer, USA. Going on to the other project, which is the landslide monitoring system using wireless sensor networks. This was by CMFR, Dhanbad, IMMT, Bhubaneswar, NIST at a cost of 1 crore. And here the real-time monitoring of landslide parameters were measured. The landslide prediction model was developed on statistical analysis, multivariate modeling, 3-level warning at different stages of landslide. The instant landslide alert through SME, email and audio-visual alarm was also built. The field trials are at Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh and the TOT is under progress. The fourth project was about half a crore, which was initially given to the CMIFR for developing wireless information and safety system for underground mines. The development of wireless tracking system using RFID, disaster locating system for speedy rescue operations, warning system for miners entering unsafe area, message device for underground and so on was developed in this project at the Churi mine CCL Ranchi, and technology was also transferred to one industry partner. The new latest project is on the development of digital mine using IoT, which will create a safe and comfortable working environment for underground miners through real-time monitoring using the IoT. This will provide real-time analytics and prediction of fatal accidents that happen in the underground mines. This will be enabling precautionary measures to be taken in advance to avoid the loss of lives of the miners. Integration of digital mine and IoT has various beneficial aspects, as you all know, for safety and rescue management. It can create a safe and comfortable working environment, the digital mining modeling project. IoT can strengthen the remote monitoring. The product can be deployed in underground mines across all the country once it has been established in one field trials. And it is directly linked, all these projects, with the electronics manufacturing and focus on promoting electronics manufacturing in the country. With these words, I would like to say thank you very much CSIR for developing such good technologies, and these will be displayed here in this 2-day workshop as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baveja. Chief guest of today's function, inaugural function, is Professor B.V. Dhar, former Director, Central Mining Research Institute, Dhanbad. Professor Dhar is basically a mining engineer by training, and he was professor at IIT BHU, erstwhile IT BHU, and after completion of his service at CMRI Dhanbad, he went to Association of Indian University as Director Research for several years, and then he served as Senior Vice President at MeitY University. So we have a guest who is well known, rather needs no introduction for the mining community in India and abroad. Now I request Professor Dhar to kindly give his inaugural address. Professor Dhar, please.
Sajjano or Devyo, friends, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to be in this hall in less than 3 months' time. We were here when PK Singh also came. We came for that 100 years of BHU celebrations. We had the function in this very hall. So great pleasure to be here. But greater than that is my pleasure to be with the meeting and be with the young scientists, अब तो आप कुछ old भी हो गए, of Dhanbad, and the academic institutions, namely IIT BHU, IIT Kharagpur, IIMs, ISM. I have a professor here from ISM also, and then IITs. I met from Ahmedabad also. Then I have that NIIT Rourkela. Where is he? Here. Oh, you इतना पीछे बैठा है तो आगे बैठना चाहिए. So there are some of the few people who seem to be committed to research. But my biggest pleasure was when this whole thing came. See, I happened to be associated with this from Udaipur. I think that was the Udaipur, Colin. Where was that last workshop? 2015. I happened to be there, and so this is where I met Collins. I met a few. I think Nisha was also there. Yeah. So they were the people with whom I interacted for a couple of days. Very practical approach, very down to earth, no hanky-panky. It was real research. But the biggest compliment I want to give to CMRI is that these 2 workshops, first of all, it's a hat trick. To have 2 workshops with foreign collaborations, with foreign experts in one day, inauguration at least, and that too in Vigyan Bhawan. Those of you who have come first time to Vigyan Bhawan, this is the most prestigious seat of deliberations in this country. And normally the Prime Minister and the President of India, they have the privilege of addressing here in these very halls. So I compliment PK Singh is very fond of this place. He had his last blasting conference also here, which is a great thing. My pleasure has been more when I met Collins, whom I knew, but I met another expert on underground gasification who happens to be from Montreal. Montreal is where I have lived for 6 years in McGill, and in fact it was after a long time the word Montreal came in my mind, and I was very happy to hear Michael here. My old friends, I cannot ignore them, I cannot forget them. Professor Banerjee, Dr. T.N. Singh, Amnandu Sinha, Paul Roy, all these people who have been associated with me in the past, and the young batch of scientists who are developing. Srivastava is here, Sharma is here. All these people, incidentally, Chowle has been my student also. I think he got his PhD. So you have a hardcore scientist. I must compliment you. Rajshekhar, a well-known scientist in environment, I must tell you. I don't know, but when he applies for an award, he applies in the wrong division. He doesn't apply in the right division. He applies in the right division. You are a man of environment. You are, like me, you are a convert from mining to environment. But you have been in that. He has an excellent book on that waste management. I think we also had a chapter in that. I don't know, I'm not sure as yet. It's still, because I still haven't seen a copy. But I must say, these people who have been working, A.K. Singh, the first research we did in Dhanbad was between him, me and Professor Dr. Mitra. How difficult it was to work with Dr. Mitra, but he was a great friend of ours from CSIR. And so you can say that the depth of research in these two projects, underground gasification, who knows more than you people about underground gasification? And living in the area which is either on fire or under gasification. So, Professor Banerjee, am I right or wrong? If these people do not do research, fundamental research in these areas, who will do? Therefore, I must compliment you, P.K. Singh. You put things together and brought them to Delhi. Another thing I would like to impress upon the people who organize functions, always attract attention. Don't just, I used to, if you come to Delhi, you come to Calcutta. Calcutta also I don't give 100% marks. It also gets like easternized. But when you come to Delhi, you have a focus. I don't know how you have been able to attract the press. It's not very difficult, but anyway, it's difficult. But when you have draw the attention of the country, attention of the people, always have a focus on the place where you are organizing, on the issues, of course, they are definitely there. I must compliment CMRI, CIMFR for the center that has been inaugurated today. It's again a big feather in its cap, because having these centers, we had one center in Center of Excellence. What was the name of the Srivastava in Banaras? We had that Advanced Center for Rock Mechanics, something ground control, something similar. But these centers have to develop. It has become a real fashion to have these centers, but really we have to have them working. We have to have them so that they can deal with. I think Mr. Baveja made a reference to Coal India and Ministry. They are very cooperative, I must tell you, Mr. Baveja, very cooperative. Our ministry, coal industry is, mining engineering, our mining institute is lucky. When I sit in committees, I know how cooperative Coal India is in terms of funding and in terms of getting you and giving you an opportunity to implement research. There is a big thing I must tell you. Dr. T.N. Singh, who is sitting here, he has implemented everything that he has done in his life in the Coal India mines. In the Coal India mines. And there was no two opinions about that. They would say, please come and this is your field, do it, experiment. At the top of that, they also have a Director General of Mine Safety, again a regulator, very well located in Dhanbad, very good equation with they used to have with us, I think they continue to be. Without them also you cannot experiment. how can you have a better place than this, where you have the field and where you have the regulatory authority giving you the permission to do the experiment. That is a big thing, that this advantage you have. Sir, I must tell Collins and as well as Michael that the institutes that you are associated with, there cannot be better choice than this as far as applied research in this country is concerned. We must be very sure about it. We have to do it. If you go to Banaras University, they are also doing a lot of research. They have been doing that. Jamal is there, got a good name in environment. Sharma is coming up. They already talked to me other day. I talked to Sharma. There are people after them from abroad to collaborate. But we ourselves are not prepared to extend our full support. Perhaps because we are a little afraid also. कोई ऐसी मुश्किल नहीं है, ऐसी कोई difficulty नहीं है. But I think you can start that. These two workshops that have been designed, very timely, emerging mining technologies and low carbon footprints. The word footprints has become a way, but nobody understands what it is. Exactly. These days, footprints is used when you have an exhibition. The other day I was with Secretary Mines. He said, we were inaugurating an exhibition in Bangalore. He said, how many footprints? तो अंदर से मैं सोच रहा था ये क्या कह रहे हैं. So he meant that how many people visited this exhibition. So the footprint is also used nowadays very, very commonly with the visitors that you are having. So I think you'll have how many participants would be your footprints as far as this conference is concerned. Underground coal gasification, again a very important issue, and we have been struggling on this for the last several decades. I think these two issues, underground gasification as well as this fighting the mine fires, they will continue to be there, but how much really has come out of it? But I think this is the time that we have to take these things a little more seriously, because the funding agencies have become a little careful. They said, what is the outcome? Earlier, there was not much of an accounting. Now it has become very difficult. If I give you 10 lakhs, I must see at the end of the day or 2 years, what has really come out of this. All these two topics are nothing but innovative technologies. There is no ABC rule, there is no book you can open, there is nothing what you can refer to. Even if you refer to that, that's old. So two things have to be, you have to have innovative technologies and you have to have referendum on the existing technologies plus or modification of those technologies. Once you have these two approaches, you're definitely going to get to results. Don't discard what has been done. Oh no, that's something like No, this is our wrong approach. A bureaucrat never does that. He picks up everything. That's how at the end of the meeting he gives his result, because he doesn't out-reject anybody's suggestion whosoever is present in the meeting. Innovative technologies and its deliberations must focus itself on the core issues, not get sidetracked, and they must suggest and recommend accordingly. I don't know, after the 2 days workshop, you have to come up with the solid future line of approach, and then the new workshops and new research projects will emerge out of this. What is basically needed? As far as a mining engineer, we look only for 4 things. One is improve the safety, productivity, environmental protection or mitigation, and health of mine workers. These 4 issues are the ones that concern every mining engineer who is associated with it, whether he is a research scientist or whether he is a producer of the coal or any other metal. After seeing that outline of your program, I was highly impressed. You seem to have taken care of those 2 days, lots of sessions. According to me, I think it looked a little more heavy. But then you have lots of people involved. But the question is, when every individual talks, who is really going to sum up the end of the whole thing? But the design outline was very good. First time a workshop has been designed where you have academics, where you have research, where you have manufacturers, where you have industry, and who else? Stakeholders. And collaborate, and above all collaborators. If all of them listen together, I am quite confident ये 2 दिन का workshop सफल हो जाएगा. Or I am talking, pardon my speaking in Hindi in between, because I want this part of this, we should go to the other audience more than our foreign guests. तभी इसमें कुछ निष्कर्ष निकलेगा और आपको कोई भरोसा करेगा कि हाँ भाई कुछ तो आप कर रहे हैं. It's very essential that we must have this rare combination. Is again everything. You have people from IIM. I don't know. It's the first time an IIM professor is attending a workshop of this kind.
He came to Dhanbad also.
He came to Dhanbad. No, I mean, that's good. Although one of the directors of IIMs has been our student who is a mining engineer. What needs to be looked into in the advances in carbon dioxide capture, very essential, this technology has to be looked into. Assessing innovation in emerging energy technologies like socio-technical dynamics of carbon capture, very essential. These are social aspects cannot be ignored. This has become part and parcel. I am associated with the Quality Council of India, where accreditation is done to the consultants of this country on environment. Biggest difficulty we find in an organization, including I think yours, is the socio-economic experts are very rare. I think Dr. Srivastav, he uses experts of VHU. This subject has not grown up. This is in CSR, we have not been able to really impress upon such a huge organization that they need to have a socio-economic expert within their system. How you can accommodate this has to be seen. Then you see the role of inorganic polymers technology is in the development of green concrete. These are, I think Colin showed you some slides where future is going to be used. You need to review the emerging technologies for sustainable use of coal for power and generation. Then of course carbon footprints has to be counted every time and every now and then. Everybody talks buying carbon, selling carbon, protecting carbon. We in our green revolution and in our greenhouse gases and the climate change, I think carbon footprints is what is really gets counted. I don't think I need to deliberate because I am not an expert in this area, but the issues involved are comparative life cycle air emissions of coal, very essential for domestic natural gas, LNG and SNG, critical assessment of industrial coal drying technologies, role of energy, emissions, risks and sustainability. Then emerging energy efficiency and carbon dioxide emissions. Methane generation has been our problem. We used to only weigh it as a fire risk in mines, but that is long forgotten. It's now more of a problem. So underground coal gasification is well established subject. I don't think it needs fundamental research. It needs only applied research. It needs only how to really generate. Whether we have our coal seams have enough of that we can economically use that is to be seen. But otherwise, according to me, I think we should do much better in underground gasification, because this is a subject which is available and there is a lot of literature also available in this field, and there are also experimental. Only differentiate has to be done between coal gas and coal emission. I don't think I can add anything more than that, because you are the experts. You will deliberate on 2 days. All will be just listening as far as we can. But my request is that make these events rememberable from not social point of view only, but from the scientific input. If you have you have got to have what the 5 days program. The 5 days program should see at least 5 major R&D thrust projects emerging for the generation next. That is what your topic is. That's of course coming day after tomorrow. But since it's connected with the Baveja sir ने भी आपको बहुत compliment किया है, support भी किया है. So I think we should be. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you will have a good time in the next few days.
Thank you, Professor Dhar. For information of the House, as Professor Dhar rightly pointed out, we have among us Professor Amit Garg from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. Professor Dhar has been working in the field of climate change, especially greenhouse gas inventory, then vulnerability assessment, all the aspects of, and he was professor of energy systems. He was chair of energy systems for long years, I suppose for 10 years, sir. So we have very good association with IIM Ahmedabad, sir. Rather for greenhouse gas inventory system, IIM Ahmedabad is the lead agency. And we have a national communication project under the aegis of Ministry of Forest and Climate Change, Environment, Forest and Climate Change. And we have colleagues, Dr. Lokesh Dubey, Mangana, Abha, from NETCOM project. Ladies and gentlemen, in line with the Digital India program of the Government of India, we did not publish any hard copy of the proceedings. The proceedings will be published online by IOP Publications, London, after review in April 2017. In the meantime, we have published book of abstracts. Only soft copy have been made available on pen drives to each of the delegates participating in UCG 2017. Now I will request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly release the book of abstracts in soft copy form. Please. Thank you. Now it is time to honor our chief guest, guest of honor and special guest on the dais. I request our director, Dr. Pradeep Kumar Singh, to kindly present a shawl and memento to our chief guest, Professor B.V. Dhar. To our guest of honor, Dr. B.M. Baveja. To our very special guest, Dr. Michael S. Blinderman. To our special guest, Professor Colin D. Hills. May I now request Dr. Rajsekhar Singh to please honor our director by presenting a shawl and a memento. Thank you, sir. Now, before I invite Dr. Rajsekhar Singh to propose a vote of thanks, we have few announcements to make. As you know, there are two workshops. The underground coal gasification workshop UCG-2017 will be on the first floor in hall number 2-3. 2-3, both the halls have been merged and the new number is yet to be assigned, so we call it hall 2-3. And the second one, EMT 2017 in hall 4. But before that, we go for high tea on the ground floor in the atrium. And with this announcement, I request Dr. Rajsekhar Singh to propose a vote of thanks. Dr. Rajsekhar Singh, please.
Distinguished Chief Guest, Guest of Honor, dignitaries present on the dais, senior colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. This is a privilege for me to be a part of the 2 days workshop and the launch of Indo-UK Centre for Environmental Research and Innovation, IUCRI, in India. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank our respected chief guest, Professor B.V. Dhar, for all-time support to our institute and always a source of inspiration. Thank you, sir. I would also like to thank to our director, Professor Pradeep Kumar Singh, and Director CSIR-CIMFR, who is always source of motivation and stimulation, and at our always support 24 hours. He is a man who is stimulating us so much that we are forced to organize all new kinds of events. I am also indebted to Professor Colin D. Hills, a pioneer accelerated carbonation technology expert in the world from University of Greenwich. He has helped us a lot for opening of IUCRI office at University of Greenwich, and we are also thankful to University of Greenwich for making an appointment for this center in UK. Thank you very much, sir. I am also thankful to Dr. B.M. Baveja for sparing his busy time and helping us to get the financial support from MeitY, Government of India. I express my thanks to Dr. Michael Blinderman for delivering his excellent address on the important topic on UGC. The delegates from UK took great pain to travel a long way to attend this workshop. My heartfelt thanks to the UK team, that is also called Dream Team of Professor Colin, for making this workshop successful, not only by attending this but also through their kind support on technical component aspects. The workshop is meaningless without the participation of our expert delegates from various academic institutions like IIT BHU, IIT ISM and NRSA Hyderabad and several other Department of Science and Technology and Ministry of Environment and Forest, a lot of institutions. So my sincere thanks to all for attending this event. I hope our industry's participants would find this workshop useful and help us to instigate the sustainable industry and the environment. My sincere thanks to scientists, technical staffs and researchers, scholars of CSIR-CIMFR for working hand to hand preparation of this important event. At last but not the least, I thank everyone for helping directly and indirectly for preparation of this workshop. I am also thankful to the sponsors like MeitY Government of India, ONGC, JCB, Steel Authority of India, SCCL and Harnessing Energy, NLC. So at last but not least, I thank to everyone who helped us directly and indirectly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rajsekhar Singh. And now we break for high tea, which will be served on the ground floor. And after half an hour, we reassemble in respective halls. थोड़ी देर उनको रुकने बोलिए, हम